YouTube is not just competing with TV anymore. It is trying to replace what TV means. That sounds dramatic, but look at the way YouTube has been describing itself in 2026 and the pattern becomes hard to miss. This is not just a platform talking about creators. This is a platform talking about creators as studios, the living room as its next major battlefield, AI as ad infrastructure, and commerce as a natural next step for video watching. Put those together and the story gets a lot bigger than a few product updates. The real shift is that YouTube no longer wants to be seen as the place where internet videos happen. It wants to be seen as the place where the next version of television, fandom, shopping, and creator-led media all merge. That is the lens for this explainer. If you go back a few years, the old media view of YouTube was still weirdly limited. Even when the platform was massive, a lot of the cultural establishment still treated it like an internet side zone. Big, yes. Influential, sure. But somehow still separate from real television, real entertainment, or real media infrastructure. That framing does not really survive 2026. In Neil Mohan's January 21, 2026 CEO letter, YouTube says the quiet part out loud. Creators are the new stars and studios. That is not a cute slogan. It is a strategic thesis. The platform is saying that the old distinction between creator content and mainstream programming matters less every year, because creators now own production pipelines, audience relationships, recurring formats, and increasingly polished long-form shows. That matters because once creators stop looking like hobbyists and start looking like self-greenlit media companies, the whole market changes. Brands treat them differently. Advertisers treat them differently. Viewers treat them differently. And maybe most importantly, the television screen treats them differently. That living room shift is one of the most important parts of the story. For a long time, YouTube was easy to imagine as a phone-first or laptop-first habit. Something fast, personal, and web-native. But the platform's 2026 language is much more ambitious than that. The company is openly leaning into the idea that YouTube is now television behavior. In the CEO letter, YouTube says it has been #1 in US streaming watch time for nearly 3 years according to Nielsen. That is not internet-side content. That is central screen behavior. And once you in the living room, everything changes. The television screen is still where audiences are most comfortable settling in, spending time, and treating content like an event instead of a quick distraction. If YouTube can dominate the couch as well as the phone, then it is not only fighting for attention, it is fighting for the role that cable networks, premium channels, and streaming services used to define. That is why the platform keeps talking about every format on every screen. Shorts for discovery, long form for deeper engagement, podcasts for recurring voice-led habits, live streams for urgency, TV for comfort and scale. This is not a random pile of formats. It is a funnel. You might discover a creator on Shorts while waiting in line. Later you see a longer explainer on your laptop. Then you watch that creator's full show on the TV. Later you listen to their podcast episode while commuting. From the platform's point of view, that is ideal. It means one audience relationship can keep moving across surfaces without leaving the YouTube ecosystem. That alone would already be a huge strategic advantage. But in 2026 YouTube is also layering commerce and ad infrastructure directly into that behavior. At Brandcast on May 13, 2026, YouTube did not just celebrate creators as culture drivers. It turned them into business machinery. The platform introduced new creator shows, pitched brands on creator trust, highlighted affiliate partnership ads, and pointed toward frictionless checkout on connected TVs. That is a big clue about where the company thinks media is heading. The old TV model was simple. Watch the show, and you're the ad break. Maybe remember the brand later. The YouTube version is much tighter. Watch the creator. Trust the creator. See the product in a context you already care about. Search for it immediately. Maybe buy it without leaving the video environment. That is not just entertainment. That is a compressed commerce loop. And YouTube has data to support why it thinks this matters. In its brandcast messaging, it says viewers are far more likely to search for and buy a brand when creators talk about products on the platform. Whether you are a marketer or just a viewer trying to decode where media money is going, that is the part to pay attention to. The future value of creator media is not only that creators hold attention, it is that they hold persuasive attention. That is very different from a passive 30-second TV spot. It also helps explain why YouTube has been rebuilding its brand deal infrastructure. In the April 2026 Creator Partnerships update, the company says YouTube Creator Partnerships is becoming a centralized system connected directly to YouTube Studio on the creator side, and Google Ads Plus, DV360 on the advertiser side. In plain English, YouTube is trying to make creator marketing look less like a messy side hustle and more like a mature ad stack. That is a huge upgrade in how the platform wants the market to think. Instead of a brand manager sending random DMs and hoping a creator fit works out, YouTube wants matching, discovery, outreach, measurement, and campaign scaling to feel native. It says the system can tap into more than 3 million creators in the YouTube Partner Program, and it wants Gemini to help analyze a huge set of signals to find the right creator for a campaign. That means AI is not only a content tool here, it is infrastructure for the ad marketplace. That is one of the most underrated 2026 platform stories. A lot of AI conversation focuses on models making videos, writing scripts, or generating images. But the money story is often about matching, targeting, analytics, forecasting, and campaign automation. YouTube seems to understand that the better business prize may be helping brands navigate a giant creator ecosystem with less friction and more confidence. If that works, then creator partnerships stop being a niche tactic and start looking like default media planning. This is where the TV angle becomes even more important. One reason creator deals used to be treated as supplemental is that they were imagined as mobile native, social native, and somewhat limited in reach. But YouTube keeps pushing the opposite message now. It wants advertisers to think creator content can scale across the phone and the living room, not just snackable reach, but real screen time, not just youth buzz, but mainstream media presence. That changes how budgets move. If an advertiser believes creator content can influence search, purchase, brand recall, and television scale viewing all at once, then the creator budget is no longer a side experiment. It becomes a central line item. That is exactly why YouTube keeps blurring the distinction between creators and traditional entertainment. The platform is effectively saying, these are not just people with audiences, these are programmable media environments. They can launch recurring shows, anchor fandom, carry sponsorship, move product, and live across multiple formats in a single ecosystem. In the old media world, you might need a network, a distributor, an ad sales team, and a retail partner to build that stack. YouTube increasingly wants creators to assemble a version of it inside one platform. Of course, there is a risk here too. The more YouTube professionalizes creators into ad inventory, the more it has to avoid making everything feel transactional. One reason viewers trust creators is that the relationship feels personal, specific, and human. If every creator surface starts feeling like polished shopping television with AI optimization bolted onto it, trust can erode. So the platform has a balancing act. It wants creators to feel like studios, but not sterile. It wants commerce to feel seamless, but not pushy. It wants AI matching to improve performance, but not flatten creator individuality into spreadsheet logic. That is harder than it sounds. There is another piece that makes this bigger than a normal ad tech story: policy recognition. In June 2026, YouTube launched a creator consultation across 27 EU countries to gather information about the barriers creators face and the opportunities they need. On one level, that is public policy positioning. On another level, it is a signal that the creator economy is now too economically important to be treated as a cultural side note. That matters because once policymakers, regulators, and economic planners treat creators like a serious business sector, platforms like YouTube gain a different kind of power. They're no longer only entertainment apps. They become infrastructure for modern creative work, modern small business formation, and modern advertising markets. And that helps explain why YouTube's 2026 narrative feels so coordinated. The company is not merely improving video features. It is trying to define the future shape of media. Creators become the programming, shorts become the discovery layer, long form and TV become the habit layer, podcasts become the recurring voice layer. AI becomes the matching and optimization layer. Commerce becomes the monetization layer. When you stack all of that together, YouTube starts looking less like a website and more like a media operating system. That may be the cleanest way to understand what is happening. Netflix is trying to expand beyond passive streaming. Spotify is trying to make video podcasts more central. Traditional television is fighting to keep cultural weight. Social platforms want commerce. Retail platforms want media. Meanwhile, YouTube sits in the middle of all of those worlds and has a credible story for each one. It has creators. It has TV screens. It has search-driven intent. It has ad tech. It has shopping ambition. It has short form and long form. And it has a generation of viewers who no longer think TV means only a cable channel or prestige streamer. That is why this matters. The biggest YouTube story in 2026 is not one viral hit, one creator controversy, or one feature launch. It is that YouTube is making a serious bid to become the default system, where culture is discovered, talent is commercialized, television is redefined, and buying behavior starts to merge with watching behavior. If that bet works, then the real competitor is not one network or one streamer, it is the old idea of media itself. And that is why YouTube in 2026 deserves to be read not just as a video platform, but as the company trying to build the creator-powered television machine for the next decade.